The polar vortex has arrived again. And if you're in southern Ontario and you woke up this morning to see very frigid cold temperatures, well, that's the return of it. The good news is, however, that we are going to see the end of the polar vortex reaches temperatures as cold as they did this morning. Even in the Michigan, Pennsylvania, New York, Ohio region, we're looking at a pushback of warmer air for the future. Follow us as we go through today's weather. We're going to track 3 separate systems that are impacting USA and Canada. We're going to look at different accumulation amounts, and we're going to look at different temperatures and how we're going to see a warm push through the southern states. So follow the Border City Kids weather page. I'm your host, Brian, and let's get into it today. Here are the 3 separate systems that we are currently following. Right now, we see one system impacting the west coast of British Columbia in Canada. This has been a system that has been ongoing for the past few days, and we'll take a closer look in California, on the west coast of California, but in the higher elevations we see some of that turn to snow because the air temperature gets much cooler as the elevation goes higher. And this was that storm or that system that has been impacting British Columbia for the past few days on Victoria Island, and in the higher elevations, especially mostly of the skiing areas, we do see lots and lots of snow. This is the main system that we're following today in northern Ontario, and it will be impacting, some of the northeastern states such as New York, Pennsylvania, New Hampshire, Vermont, and Maine. We are going to see a decent amount of snow come through tonight, looking at about 3 to 4 inches overall. Could be a little bit higher, could be a little bit lower. We'll take a look at some of those amounts, but this is what we're looking at right now. This is the current map that we have projected for later on tonight through tomorrow. We're looking at an average of about 3 to 4, maybe 5 inches of snow. Could be a little bit more, could be a little bit less. We are tracking it. If you're in those areas, be on the lookout. This will impact travel for sure. Southern Ontario portions, a little bit south of London, you're not expected to have that much snow. There is also a slight chance of some freezing rain in these areas tonight. Now, freezing rain hasn't been talked about in southern Ontario in quite a while because it's been very, very cold, too cold for any type of rain. So is this a talk of potentially warmer temperatures happening? It looks like it's possible. This is a shot of the warmer temperatures that we're seeing being pushed up through Mexico, through Texas, through Oklahoma, and through those southern states such as Kansas. And we do see it try to push northeastward towards the Great Lakes. And in the future, we are going to, we'll show you the weather pattern, but we are fairly confident that we are going to see temperatures hit over 0 degrees Celsius in Canada or over 32 degrees Fahrenheit if you're in that Great Lakes region, such as Wisconsin, Michigan, Ohio, Pennsylvania, New York, so on and so forth. There is a very good opportunity here for some warmer temperatures and to melt some of that snow. Indiana and Kentucky will also be in that mix as well. You should be fairly safe from having temperatures below 32 degrees Fahrenheit. The only problem is that we're seeing like a battle back and forth. The cold temperatures that are sitting on the Great Lakes region are really pushing back against those warmer temperatures that are pushing up from the southern states. So we are going to see a battle take place in the next few days. It's going to be a push back and forth. The good news is we're not going to be seeing those negative below 0 temperatures that have been occurring in that Great Lakes region. I think those are done for a little bit. We are going to see a warmer push, like I said, from those southern states such as Texas, Louisiana, Arkansas, Oklahoma, Iowa, Illinois, and further up northeastward as the week goes on. Here is just, like I said, a battle of that heat and cold. You can see the heat press up from the south, the southern states, but we also see a pushback from that Great Lakes region where that cold air is being funneled down from northern Canada. So this is a back and forth process that is currently taking place. We are going to see those colder temperatures that have been sitting in the polar vortex drifting off east out into the Atlantic, hopefully funneling those colder temperatures out and allowing some of that warmer air to flow in. Now, here's just a shot of some of the warmer temperatures that we can expect. This morning, we were sitting at temperatures that were right around that 0 degrees Fahrenheit, and this is without the wind chill. These are absolutely frigid, cold temperatures, that Arctic polar vortex air really settling into this area, and you can see that there is a pushback as we go on, and this only goes to until tomorrow midday. So we do see a warmer shot of air come up past the freezing mark past Detroit, Windsor area, Sarnia, Ontario, London, Ontario is included in that. And we also see Michigan, a good shot of Michigan being above 32 degrees Fahrenheit. So we'll see as we go further towards the week, this northeastern push of warmer temperatures over 0 degrees or the freezing point that we've been just stuck in for the longest time. It's been a very long winter for this region. This is a very warm push that we're seeing of warmer, humid air from Mexico up through Texas. And I just want to point out some of the numbers that we're seeing are in the mid 70s all the way up into Oklahoma and into the 50s and 60s in Kansas. It's very comfortable temperatures for the earlier start of February. So this is a good shot that maybe spring is on the way. We're even seeing some temperatures in Kansas hit all the way up to 74, 75 degrees, which is very warm for this time of year. There is a solid push of warmer air, and maybe that's that seasonal transfer from winter into spring that we will start to see as we get closer and closer to March. Now, remember, as March comes around, it is the meteorological spring, so we do kind of shift into another season, which is going to see temperatures on a normal level just generally increase. And that's a natural process as angle of the sun hits and is much, you could feel it much more than we did back in January and December. So it's much stronger now. We're starting to feel it, and it's nice when you do hit 0 to 5 degrees Celsius. It does feel a lot warmer than it really is. And that's because we've been used to some of those really frigid cold temperatures for so long. And I just want to show you how far up and how high some of these numbers are in the central United States, all the way up into Nebraska. They're seeing low to mid 60s. The southern portion of Kansas, we're seeing numbers that are in the upper 70s, all the way up. If you even take a look into Iowa and Missouri, they're still getting into some of that action in the upper 60s. We're seeing temperatures comfortably in Iowa around 50 to 60 degrees. So there's a lot of warm air being pushed up through here. And like I said, as we go towards the end of the week into early next week, we are going to see a push of these temperatures even further northeast. And that kind of goes with our 6 to 10 day probability temperature, showing that we are going to be above average in the next 2 weeks. That's the trend that we're seeing. I think we may see one more shot of a polar vortex with that Arctic cold air pressing south, funneling into that Great Lakes region. But I think we're a couple weeks of relief right now to maybe have some of that snow melt. I just want to take a look at the Gulf Coast right now just to see some of the temperatures that we're looking at. The state of Florida seems to be in good hands right now with temperatures in the mid 60s on the western coast of Florida, all the way down to the lowest southern point of Florida's mid 70s. So these are very nice temperatures that you've had. And like I said, this has been a pushback from a couple weeks ago when you had that freezing point go all the way down to the most southern point in Florida. It was a very strange anomaly that happened, but it did happen. But we're seeing a lot of warm air now start to generate through that Gulf Coast up northward through some of those states such as Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia. We're hoping that even South Carolina and North Carolina can eventually get into the mix as well. But this is a more central push right now, not so far east. Here is just what we're looking at right now. We're going to see a takeover of some of those above seasonal temperatures in the Great Lakes region. The battle has finally been won by the looks of this model here, showing that those cold airs that have been sitting over the Great Lakes are finally going to be pressed out into the Atlantic. But my only concern is the temperatures that are currently up in northern Canada as well as Alaska. We usually see a funneling of those temperatures and that cold air being shot south through northwestern Ontario down into the eastern portion of the United States. So we're going to keep an eye on that to see where that goes. But for now, it seems like we're in the clear right now with above average temperatures across most of Canada and the United States as we see those colder Arctic air temperatures pushed out into the Atlantic. And I just wanted to show you some of the warmer air that does settle into Ontario over the next little while. We do see about 10 degrees or so over average for this time of the year. So that is good news, especially if we have some sun and you've had enough of the snow. This will cause the snow to melt greatly because with the sun and just the temperatures being warmer than usual because it's been so cold, we will see steady melting of the snow, better driving conditions. And this is for the entire northeast portion of United States as well as southern Ontario. Even portions of Quebec are going to be about 10 degrees above average for this for this time of the month. And we're seeing a lot of those states, even states such as Ohio, West Virginia, Kentucky, you are going to be about 10 degrees above average as well. So this is a little bit of a relief. I just want to show the wind chill values as well, just to show that, and this was from this morning until tomorrow. We did see some temperatures that were way below zero this morning. It felt like -7 or so in southern Ontario, and that's degrees Fahrenheit. This was a very cold morning. You could really feel it when you went outside, but we will see a push up through warmer temperatures tomorrow. That being said, because the temperatures are still going to hover around the freezing mark, with the wind chills, we're still going to be about 5 to 10 degrees below freezing. That's just with the wind chill, with the north wind, and that's just a normal thing. Lastly, I just wanted to show you some of the actual amounts of snow that we're going to look at tonight, overnight into Tuesday. And if you're in northern Ontario, you are going to see about 10 to 20 centimeters of snow through some of the areas such as Elliott Lake, Sudbury, North Bay, Pembroke, Smith Falls, and Cornwall. So you're going to see a little bit of snow that way as you get further and further south. Because this has a northern track on it, we start to see the amount of snow fall. Areas like Peterborough, Barrie, and Orillia are going to see 5 to 10 centimeters. As we get further south into the Goderich, Guelph area, 2 to 5. Woodstock and London, you're probably 2 to 5 centimeters. And anything further south, there's a slight chance of freezing rain tonight, but other than that, I don't think you're going to be seeing too much. This leads us to our 6 to 10 day temperature probability outlook, and everything's looking pretty red right now. So this is a nice little bounce back from the previous weeks. We've been well below average. Remember when this graph here was dark blue, especially in that Great Lakes region? Even Florida used to be covered with the dark blue colors, Gulf Coast all the way over to Texas. So now it's great to see that we are going to be above average in the next 6 to 10 days. And as this usually follows the same pattern as when we're looking at temperatures, most likely going to see more precipitation as well. Usually when we see warmer temperatures, we're going to get a more active jet stream. We're going to see a lot more weather come off that west coast and push their way eastward. So we're going to see a little bit more moisture, which is going to cause storms to form. Some of those southern states that are getting their temperatures up much higher than before, this could cause potential for big thunderstorms, especially when we see another polar vortex maybe combine with the warmer temperatures that were being pushed up from the south. So we'll follow that. We are tracking something that's likely to occur in about a week. We do see a major thunderstorm roll through the Tennessee region, right through the northern part of Mississippi, through Tennessee right here on the map. We are following that. It looks like it could have some severe impact when we're looking at rain totals. It does look to be like a thunderstorm. It doesn't look to be related to any type of snow, but that's what we're looking at in the next week. It is a little far away right now to worry about it, but we'll look at it in coming days. And here's our national warm-up that we're looking at. We see that there are some big over average temperatures coming up in the near future. Now this is over a week away. This is about 10 days, but we finally see that cold weather that was sitting over the Great Lakes being pushed out into the Atlantic. And we pretty much see a national warm up of an over average temperature through the entire United States, as well as most parts of Canada. So this is going to be a good little flip right now. We will enjoy it because I do think we are going to see another shot of Arctic air in the next 2 weeks. And this is once again just my concern when we see those freezing cold temperatures sitting up near Alaska, in the Yukon territories and Northwest territories in Canada. Usually we start to see that funnel down. Now, where is that going to end up? Or is it going to be able to funnel all the way down, or is it going to be blocked? We don't know. But if it funnels its way down, you can bet that it's probably going to go right on top of that Great Lakes region, as well as southeastern portion of the United States. It always seems to find a way. So we'll keep an eye on that for now. But that is all I have right now. We are going to see a warm up, and we're going to see the pattern flip where the eastern portion of Canada and the United States is going to be above average, and the western coast may be more seasonal for this type of year, which is not something it's been like this winter so far. So thank you for joining me today. I'm Brian, and this is the Border City Kids Weather Channel. We'll be back tomorrow for another weather forecast. Have a good one. We'll see you tomorrow.